join me a little bit on the sofa. I have a question. So I wanted to ask you, are there any challenges when you want to connect your consumer data and the profiles? What are your challenges?
Yes, there are many. So I think the most fundamental challenge is identifying the kinds of attributes from TGI that are realistically scalable when you apply them to a kind of a big data real-time universe. So, for example, attributes which you would expect to be sort of intrinsically describable in terms of digital behaviors are easy to extrapolate out. Things which are very much specific to an individual consumer and aren't necessarily something that can be easily sort of typified, if you like, you have to be very careful about trying to extrapolate those attributes. So I think there's a danger almost that you can let the data science run amok with data that it really shouldn't have any purpose in touching, and you end up making fundamentally flawed decisions about consumers as a result.
I think that's fair. I think as a methodologist, you don't just look at the data science, you absolutely look at the end use case. And I think what's nice here is we know we have that high contact, fast-paced profiles panel. It's bringing the profiles to the place that's most appropriate for the end user.
And I've got a rather challenging question coming in. So what do you do, how do you resolve conflicting behavioral and survey data?
I'll hand that over to Chris. No, I'll take it. So one of the things that we can do with M Platform is create effectively a census-level comparison of different segments. So we're able to look at a particular group of scaled consumers out of a population of about 40 million, and we're able to understand the degree of overlap. So if the TGI data is telling us one thing and the first-party data is telling us something else, then we're able to see that in sort of, if you like, in real life in the data and make a decision about how we resolve that. So that might be a function of the, if you like, the data science decisions that we've made. We may have got something wrong in some of the extrapolations that we've made, or it may be an expected outcome. So, for example, if you assume that the first-party data is looking at your existing customers and the TGI data is effectively looking at sources of growth, i.e. customers that you would like to have, if they're telling you a different thing, that's potentially a good thing, because it means that you've identified a new source of business for the client that you wouldn't otherwise have accessed using first-party data. And I think, for what it's worth, this has maybe been touched on already over the last couple of days, we have a tendency as an industry to overemphasize the importance of first-party data, and you end up with almost a self-fulfilling prophecy if you go too deep down the rabbit hole of only looking at your first-party data in order to optimize your consumer communications.
Thank you very much. So we've really run out of time now, so a loud round of applause to Christopher and Richard. Thank you very much.